press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello dear students, so let me continue part number 16 from systems of particle and rotational motion. Okay, so far up to the part 15 I covered, in the last sessions I covered torque. Okay, so we know torque nothing but it is the product of force and perpendicular distance, okay, from the some point O, okay, and we know torque is a vector quantity, okay, and we covered some ladder problems in the last sessions, okay. Of course some more applications also there related to the torque, so those applications I am going to cover at the end of the chapter, okay. So next let me enter into the next topic from systems of particle and rotational motion, okay. Now systems of particle rotational motion, part number 16. So let me continue some topics from NCERT. Again I am going to show you some different model questions which are important for all type of entrances, okay. So write down the next heading moment of inertia. Moment of inertia, okay, we can represent with some symbol called as capital I. So this is the most important topic for all type of entrances, okay. So based on this we will get some plenty of formulas, okay. So try to remember all the formulas, but I am going to show every formula with derivation, okay, that's my habit. So I am going to show the derivations also, okay. Again that derivations also like some integration process, okay, no need to worry about the integration process. At least you target the final formula, especially for first PUC students. So at least you target the first final formula, then next once if you are good in integration, then you try to practice the derivation of each and every formula, okay. But I am going to show you everything with the derivations. So before that let us see what is this moment of inertia. Anyhow, we know in laws of motion, if a force is acts on a body, then the body moves along a straight line. In the same way, in rotatory motion, if torque is acting on a body, then the body is set into a rotatory motion, okay, rotatory motion. So their force here we can call it as torque. And here this moment of inertia you know already in laws of motion. What is inertia in laws of motion? Inertia nothing but the inability of a body or the opposition offered by a body by state of rest or state of motion. You know the meaning of inertia in laws of motion chapter. Inertia means it is an opposition offered by a body by itself, state of rest or moving with a uniform speed. In the same manner, here moment of inertia also the opposition offered by a body by state of rest or moving in uniform circular motion, okay. Here opposition offered by a body, inertia nothing but the opposition, it is the opposition offered by a body by state of rest or by moving a body in circular manner, okay, circular manner. Don't worry, I am going to give proper definitions also. So there state of rest or moving with uniform speed along a line. Here this is an opposition offered by a body by state of rest or moving in circular manner, okay, moving in uniform circular motion, okay. Here to find this moment of inertia, okay, generally moment of inertia nothing but it is the rotational analog of moment of inertia is mass. In previous chapter in laws of motion we used mass. That mass here is moment of inertia. In a laws of motion we used mass as a m. Here that mass is replaced by moment of inertia I. There in laws of motion force is F. Here that force is replaced by torque tau. So that is the difference between rotational motion and linear motion, okay. Anyhow I am going to write all the equations in the continuation also, so no need to worry. Let us see how to get the equation of moment of inertia. So to get the moment of inertia, let me consider a plane lamina. Now listen, let me continue. Let me consider a plane lamina, nothing but a rigid body. Let us suppose this is the rigid body whose mass is m. A rigid body of mass m, and this is rotating about a fixed axis like this. So this is rotating, this rigid body rotating about this axis. What is the name of this axis? Axis of rotation. I think you remember axis of rotation. And this is a rigid body, and this is going to rotate about this axis with an angular speed omega. Omega is the angular speed. So rigid body means it consists of systems of particles, nothing but group of particles. So it consists of number of particles. Let us consider one particle whose mass is m1, another particle of mass m2, m3, so on. So m3, m4, so on. Okay, this particle, see, if the rigid body rotating about this axis of rotation, see what is this now? Axis of rotation. If it rotates, then this particle will have a tangential speed v1. Okay, if I draw a tangent, this particle have a tangential speed v2, and this will have a tangential speed v3 and this is rotating with an angular velocity omega. See, all are rotating about this axis. Don't think about like this. All are rotating about this fixed axis, and this is, let us suppose it is at a distance of something r1. It is at a distance of r1. So this is second one is at a distance of something r2. Next r3, r4, so on. Now this body have mass and velocity, then definitely that body will have what? Kinetic energy or not? Definitely this particle have some kinetic energy, because the particle of mass m1 having a speed v1. So definitely this particle have some kinetic energy. So we can write the total kinetic energy of this rigid body. We can write the total kinetic energy of a rigid body or a plane lamina. So how we can write this total kinetic energy is, so the total kinetic energy of the rigid body, we can write it as half m1 v1 square, half m2 v2 square, so on, half mn vn square. Regular thing. If a body have mass m, moves with a speed v, definitely that body will have kinetic energy. So that kinetic energy again, if it is a one particle, half m1 v1 square, 2 half m2 v2 square, so on. Okay. And this one ket, what is this v1? v1 is the linear speed. Anyhow, we know if a particle is rotating about a fixed axis, then the linear speed we can write it as v is equal to r omega. You learned already in circular motion, v is equal to r omega. v1 we can write it as r1 omega. Okay, v1 is r1 omega, v1 square is there, r1 square omega square. Omega is a constant. v2 half m2 r2 square omega square, so on. Okay, and the total kinetic energy we can write it as half m1 r1 omega square, m2 r2 omega square. See, here let me take omega as a common. Okay, half omega square as a common. Let us write m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square, so on, into omega square. And this quantity Ke, see, total kinetic energy, half, this let me write like this, summation of I is equal to 1 to n mi r I square into omega square. And see, this quantity we can replace as that quantity which is equivalent to half capital I omega square. See, finally I got some name I. What is that I? Moment of inertia. And see, where I is called as moment of inertia, this is equivalent to summation of I is equal to 1 to n mi r I square. See, this is the moment of inertia. Of course, we can give the definition also. Just you see how I am getting this moment of inertia. Just I consider a rigid body which is rotating about a fixed axis. Okay, and that rigid body means it consists of number of particles whose masses I have taken m1, m2, m3, so on. If you draw a tangent for each and every particle, that tangent will give speed of the particle. So v1, v2, v3 are the linear speeds of that particle, and omega is the angular speed of the particle about an axis of rotation. Okay, and if you want to find the kinetic energy, no doubt this particle will have kinetic energy. This one, all individual particles have some kinetic energy. Then I got a kinetic energy. Finally, I got some equation like half I omega square. You know already half mv square in previous chapters. Now here half mv square is the previous chapter. Kinetic energy of a body moving along a straight line is, or moving with a uniform acceleration, is half mv square. Here, if a rigid body rotates, then that rotating rigid body have some kinetic energy. What is the kinetic energy? Half I omega square. There mv square, m replaced by I. That m which is equivalent to here moment of inertia I. Linear speed v in this chapter which is equivalent to omega. So see the terms how I am converting. Mass, here moment of inertia. There means what? In laws of motion chapter, in previous chapters up to the linear motion, there v is the speed. Here omega is the angular speed. Okay, omega is the angular speed. Now let us see what is this definition of the moment of inertia. First you take this one. Let me define moment of inertia. Means on what factors it is going to depend. Okay. Now let me define the definition now. Let me give the definitions. No, it's not possible here. Yeah. Okay, I am going to rub this one. Now see, finally we got moment of inertia I, which is equivalent to summation of I is equal to 1 to n mi r I square. What is this r? What is this m? If I substitute 1, that is first particle. If I substitute 2, second particle, third particle. R is the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. R is the perpendicular distance from axis of rotation. Now let us see how to get this definition. See, moment of inertia of a rigid body about an axis of rotation, or moment of inertia of a rigid body, is defined as the product of individual masses. See, what is this? Product of individual masses. Product of individual masses, all the particles. Product of individual masses and square of their perpendicular distances from the axis of rotation. See, product of all the particles and their square distances. So, moment of inertia of a rigid body is defined as the moment of inertia of a rigid body is defined as the product of individual particles. Okay, product of individual particles and their square distances. Their square distances means their square perpendicular distances. These are the perpendicular distances. Their square perpendicular distances from the axis of rotation. Okay, for suppose if they given like this, just if they given this is the axis of rotation, this is the rigid body. Okay, no need to draw, already drawn already diagram. So this is something m1 particle, and see this is the perpendicular distance, and rotating like this with omega. This is something m2 particle, this is perpendicular distance r2, m3 particle r3. Then the moment of inertia of this system or of this rigid body about this axis, we can write it as I is equals to m1 r1 square and m2 r2 square m3 r3 square. Okay, so the product of individual mass and their perpendicular distance from where? From axis of rotation. Okay, so from axis of rotation. So keep in mind, moment of inertia of a rigid body is the product of mass of the individual particles. These are the masses of individual particles, mass of individual particles and their perpendicular distances. So perpendicular distances, keep in mind, mass definitely that is at a perpendicular distance from axis of rotation, perpendicular distances from axis of rotation. Okay, otherwise mass and the square of distance, nothing but moment of inertia. Okay, so see, let me find okay, and see this moment of inertia is a tensor quantity. See, it is not a scalar, it is not a vector. What is this tensor? See, for different bodies, we are going to get different moment of inertia. For suppose, if this is a something rectangular body, rectangular something rod or whatever may be, of course just a rectangular rod. So if you find moment of inertia about this direction, I will give you what is the name of this direction in the continuation now. If you find moment of inertia about this direction, you will get one answer. If you find moment of inertia about this line, we will get another answer, and one more answer about, see, in different directions we are going to get a moment of inertia in different, okay, in different direction for this body. See, this is only one body, so generally everyone how they will thought for one body moment of inertia formula is 1. No, here if you change the shape and position of the body, definitely moment of inertia formula changes. That also I am going to continue everything. So here moment of inertia for a one body will use different answers. Okay, in different directions we are going to get different formulas. Plenty of formulas will come. You wait and see. See, if I calculate the moment of inertia about this, I will give the name later. You will get one formula. About this, one formula. About here, one more formula. About here, one more formula. About here, one more formula. That's why moment of inertia is different in different directions. Different in different directions. That's why it is not a perfect scalar. It's not a vector, because it will have different values. Moment of inertia will have different values in different orientations, different directions. That's why it is not a scalar, it is not a vector, and it is a tensor. Keep in mind, it is a tensor. Moment of inertia is a tensor quantity, and it is the product of mass and square of distance. That is clear. Okay, tensor quantity. Now let me continue some more extension. Yeah, see, let us suppose for the same rigid body, okay, these are basics, almost like useful for board level only so far. So see, now this for 3 particles I am getting m1 r1 square, m2 r2 square, m3 r3 square, so on. Okay, if the total mass of this rigid body, if the total mass of the rigid body, just you keep in mind, see, this is the rigid body, it is rotating around the axis of rotation. and if the entire mass of the rigid body is concentrated at a point, if the total mass of this rigid body is concentrated at a point, then that center of mass point, anyhow you know the meaning of center of mass and we done plenty of derivations also. That center of mass also rotating about the axis of rotation. That center of mass to the axis, there will be some distance. See, let us suppose the center of mass of the mass of this whole body is concentrated at here somewhere. Let us suppose the mass of the whole body is concentrated here, whose mass is capital M. Total mass of the rigid body is capital M, and see there is some distance. There is some distance. There is some perpendicular distance. That perpendicular distance we can call it as a K symbol, and that K, call it as radius of gyration. K is called as what? Radius of gyration. So whenever a rigid body, keep in mind, whenever a rigid body rotating around a fixed axis of rotation, then if total mass of the body is concentrated, then the perpendicular distance between total mass concentrated to the axis of rotation, the perpendicular distance between total mass of the body is concentrated to the axis of rotation. The perpendicular distance between total mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated to the axis of rotation. We can call it as radius of gyration. And see, this rigid body will have moment of inertia. What is this moment of inertia? And this moment of inertia we can write it as summation of I is equal to 1 to n. If there are n particles, mi ra square, and this can be written as m k square, because entire mass is concentrated at this point. Entire mass is concentrated at this point C. Okay, so that perpendicular distance, mass of this square of this, also gives the moment of inertia. So the product of mass of this one and perpendicular distance from where? Perpendicular distance from center of mass of rigid body. Perpendicular distance from center of mass of rigid body. So this product also gives moment of inertia. Therefore we can write I is equals to m k square. I is equals to m k square. So we can write k is equal to root of I by k is equal to root of I by m. K is equal to root of I by m. And let us see the unit. Moment of inertia generally product of mass and distance. So what is the unit? The unit we can write like this. Unit is root, this is what? M r square. M r square, what is the unit? Kg meter square. Kg meter square or gram centimeter square. So this is kg meter square. Kg meter square, and this mass is kg. Kg meter square, what is the unit? Meter. So what is the dimensional formula of radius of gyration? L. Dimensional formula of radius of gyration is L. Okay, so radius of gyration nothing but it is the perpendicular distance from axis of rotation, perpendicular distance from axis of rotation to the center of mass of that rigid body, to the center of mass of that rigid body. Okay, otherwise we can write in another format also. Okay, if possible you try to remember this also. Anyhow, for n particles we can write m1 r1 square, m2 r2 square, so on. Okay, if mass of each particle is same, if mass of each particle is same, then m r1 square, m r2 square, just you see how I am extending this. Let me write I, m if you take common, r1 square, r2 square, so on. Okay, if I multiply n and divide with n, let us suppose, let me multiply n and divide with n. What is this nm? Total mass. Total mass. That nm, if I written 1m, that is nothing but mass of single particle, individual particle. If I written nm, mass of the total body, total rigid body, capital M. So capital M, this one r1 square plus r2 square so on rn square by n. I think you know that one, root mean square, some squares are there. Here this can be represented as a k square. So another equation for k is, let me write here. So another equation for k, what is this k square? K square is replaced by this. So let me, shall I write down, say? Yeah, k square is equal to what? r1 square plus r2 square so on by n. K is equal to, we can write root of r1 square, r2 square so on by n. See, this is also another equation. K, if they given all the perpendicular distances of individual particle in a problem, you can use this also, root of r1 square plus r2 square so on rn square by n. So what is this? Root mean square distances of all the particles from where? From axis of rotation. Okay, so radius of gyration also we can define as root mean square distances of all the particles in a rigid body from axis of rotation. So root mean square distances of all the particles from axis of rotation, also called as radius of gyration. Okay, and unit is very clear. If you take square outside, so r nothing but meter, so unit is clear. So you can keep this formula in mind and this also in mind, helpful in solving some basic level of questions. Okay, so take this. Okay, completed. See, generally moment of inertia, nothing but what? Product of mass and square of the distance from axis of rotation. So that's why moment of inertia depends on mass distribution and shape and size of the body. So keep in mind, moment of inertia depends on mass distribution, how the mass is distributed, means mass of individual particle, m1 r1 square, m2 r2 square so on. So keep in mind, moment of inertia depends on mass distribution and shape and size of the body. Moment of inertia depends on distribution of mass distribution and shape and size of the body, and of course it depends on axis of rotation. Okay, it is depends on axis of rotation. Keep in mind, it depends on axis of rotation, and of course it depends on temperature also. Okay, if temperature is changes, we will get some different answers. Okay, based on the situation, I am going to link up with this moment of inertia with some temperatures also. If temperature increases, moment of inertia increases, and radius of gyration also changes. Why? Because moment of inertia, radius of gyration, they are almost proportional to each other. So radius of gyration also depends on mass distribution, and of course it depends on axis of rotation, means at what distance that body is there from axis of rotation. Keep in mind. So based on the situation, I am going to link up with the temperature and moment of inertia, all the things. Otherwise that may come in the some other chapters. See, let me solve one more. Otherwise, let me start one simple problem to get some confidence about moment of inertia. Very simple question. Okay, so See, before that, before solving the problems, let me continue two more theorems. Next, I will continue some basic questions. So, write down heading: parallel axis theorem. So, important for subjective point of view, and formula will help in solving so many variety of questions. Okay, you can use E, parallel axis theorem. See, there are two theorems to find the moment of inertia of a rigid body. Okay, we have two theorems. One is parallel axis theorem, other one is perpendicular axis theorem. Parallel axis theorem and perpendicular axis theorem. Okay, no need of derivations. Here we need a formula. That formula I am going to apply for different objects. Okay, we are going to find the moment of inertia for different objects in the next sessions. So, parallel axis theorem. See, to get this theorem, let me consider a rigid body whose mass is something capital M. So, let us suppose this is a rigid body. Okay, irregular shape, whatever the shape and size, whose mass is capital M. Whose mass is capital M. And see, this is rotating about this axis. Otherwise, let us take, it is rotating about this axis. Okay, with an angular velocity omega. Once this rigid body rotates, then all the particles, if you imagine any other small particles, all other particles also rotating about this axis of rotation. Okay, and see, for this body there will be a center of mass. There will be a center of mass. So, let us suppose this is the center of mass. And if this body rotates about this axis, then center of mass also rotates. And if I consider any distance something small r, then is that distance between the center of mass and this one will be changes if it rotates? No, it never changes. Why? Because it is rotating. Okay, so this is the rigid body. Now this, about this axis of rotation, it is rotating, and this is some center of mass. What is the distance between center of mass to the axis? It does not changes, remains same. So imagine one more axis passing through center of mass. One more axis passing through center of mass. And about this, let us consider the moment of inertia is ICM, and here moment of inertia is I. What is this ICM? Generally we can write ICM as something I naught. Okay, ICM you can keep in mind, nothing will happen. So, what are here I and ICM? I is the moment of inertia about this axis, about any axis. Capital I, this one is the moment of inertia about any axis. What is ICM? ICM is the moment of inertia passing through center of mass of a rigid body. What is ICM? Moment of inertia of a rigid body or a plane lamina passing through center of mass. And from parallel axis theorem, we can write like this. From parallel axis theorem, we can write, so let me write here, from parallel axis theorem, the moment of inertia about any axis, moment of inertia about any axis, which is equivalent to sum of moment of inertia passing through center of mass, sum of moment of inertia passing through center of mass, and the product of mass of the lamina and square of the perpendicular distance between two parallel axes. Okay, see, this is what moment of inertia of a plane lamina or a rigid body. Moment of inertia of a rigid body about any axis. Moment of inertia of a rigid body about any axis which is equivalent to sum of the moment of inertia of the rigid body, sum of the moment of inertia of the rigid body passing through center of mass and product of mass of the rigid body. See, this is the mass of the rigid body, product of mass of the rigid body, square of the means square of the distance between what? Square of the distance between two parallel axes. So this is the statement of parallel axis theorem. We can derive this theorem also, but generally derivations are not needed for your board exams. So only remember the statement. What is the statement? Moment of inertia of a rigid body about any axis. This is the moment of inertia of a rigid body about any axis, one of the axis, which is equal to sum of the moment of inertia of the rigid body, sum of the moment of inertia of the rigid body passing through center of mass and product of mass of that rigid body, product of mass of the rigid body and square of the distance between two parallel axes. What is smaller? Square of the distance between these two parallel axes. So this is the parallel axis theorem. Okay, so I am going to use this theorem in some problems. Okay, next let us see the one more statement that is called as the perpendicular axis theorem. Perpendicular axis theorem. Okay, see one more, perpendicular axis theorem. Okay, derivations also nothing tough, easy only. So let us see the one more, perpendicular axis theorem. For this also let me consider a rigid body. See, this is the rigid body whose mass is something m, whose mass is m, rigid body of mass m, and this rigid body is rotating about this axis. Let us suppose this is one axis, this is something x axis, this is something y axis, or let us suppose this is z axis. Okay, so what is this? X axis, and this is y axis, other one is z axis. Okay, x axis, y axis, z axis. And if this rigid body rotating about in this coordinate system, then about x axis this rigid body will have some moment of inertia, about y axis this body have some moment of inertia, about z also it will have some moment of inertia. Let us consider Ix is the moment of inertia along x axis, Iy is the moment of inertia about y axis, Iz about z axis. Okay, otherwise just you see this rigid body means rigid body rotating in xyz, okay, xyz coordinate system. If you consider any particle, let me consider any particle whose mass is m, that is at a distance of something perpendicular distance. On board the diagram is looks like this. Don't think this is not a perpendicular distance, this is 3D picture. Now this is perpendicular distance. Okay, the board diagrams are planar diagrams, keep in mind. So this is at a distance of something x, and this is at a perpendicular distance of something y. Okay, x and y. Okay, so you will get completely some parallelogram exactly. Still this picture is not clear, no problem. This is x distance, means this particle is in xy plane, and this is at a x distance from x axis. Keep that y distance from y axis. Okay, no need of derivation, I am going to get the only theorem statement now. But let us see, and see this one is the diagonal. What is this? Something r is the diagonal. Okay, still that perpendicular distance are not clear, but okay, no problem. That is r, diagonal you feel. Here moment of inertia about x axis, moment of inertia about about x-axis. About x-axis, Ix. What is Ix? Shall I write? If there are n particles, okay, just you write Ix is something mx square. If there are n particles are at x distance, you can write summation of mx square. That's better. Summation is better. Summation. If number of particles are there, m1, m2, m3, so on. Similarly, we can write Iy summation of my square. Iz summation of m r square. Iz is r square. What is this r? Iz summation of r nothing but x square plus y square. R nothing but diagonal root of x square plus y square, root cancelled because r square is there. So Iz which is equivalent to summation of mx square summation of my square. Then Iz, this can be written as Ix and this is Iy. See, I am getting one formula here now. What I am getting finally? See the only last formula, no need of these many steps also for board of interview. Direct one formula is enough. Finally, what I got? Moment of inertia of one axis which is equal to sum of the other two axes. What is that one axis? Right now I got a z axis. That z axis which is equivalent to other two axes. Okay, so keep in mind, see the statement from these equations. Moment of inertia of a plane lamina or a rigid body. Plane lamina nothing but a rigid body. Okay, moment of inertia of a plane lamina or rigid body about an axis, about any axis which is equal to the sum of the moment of inertia of the same plane lamina passing through the same point, sum of the moment of inertia of the same plane lamina passing through the same point and perpendicular to each other. How these two? How x and y? In x, y, z, how all the three? They are perpendicular or not? All the three everywhere perpendicular to each other. So, according to perpendicular theorem or perpendicular axis theorem states that moment of inertia of a plane lamina or a rigid body about any axis, moment of inertia of a plane lamina or a rigid body about any axis is equal to the sum of the moment of inertia of the same plane lamina, sum of the moment of inertia of the same plane lamina passing through the same point which are perpendicular to each other. Passing through the same point and which are perpendicular to each other. So keep these two statements in mind. Based on the situation, you use these two theorems to get moment of inertia of different objects. Okay, so write this moment of inertia. Okay. So what is the statement? Let me repeat once. Moment of inertia of a plane lamina about any axis which is equal to sum of the moment of inertia of the same plane lamina passing through the same point and perpendicular to each other. Okay. So keep the two statements in mind. These two theorems will help a lot in solving so many variety of questions. Okay, in every year definitely one problem we will expect from moment of inertia in JEE, in NEET, in every entrances. Maybe in KSET level they may give easy level of question. In JEE level they will give some good questions that I am going to cover in the next 1 or 2 sessions. Okay. So problems are so many based on this. Generally students will struggle about moment of inertia. But let me give some clarity. Okay. See what I covered today, nothing, just moment of inertia definition covered. I extended to the radius of gyration, and after that simple theorems, perpendicular axis theorem and parallel axis theorem. What is moment of inertia? Moment of inertia, anyhow it is a scalar or a vector? It's not a scalar, it's not a vector. What is it is? It is a tensor quantity because it will give different values in different directions. Moment of inertia will give different values in different directions. That's why it is a tensor quantity. And what is the basic definition of moment of inertia? Generally we can define as product of mass of the body and the square of the distance between body and axis of rotation. No doubt the distance is parallel or perpendicular? Perpendicular distance. M into r square. What is that r? R is the perpendicular distance from the axis of rotation. And later I covered k. What is that k? Radius of gyration. Nothing but root mean square distances of all the particles from axis of rotation. Okay, of course all are perpendicular distances from axis of rotation. Okay, and you will get a k when, what is that k actually? It is the perpendicular distance between axis of rotation to the rigid body, where the entire mass of the rigid body is going to be concentrated. Okay. So read the statements from NCERT textbook or any other book. You will understand what I covered here. Now, so before going to start some formulas, let me give one simple problem to get some confidence about moment of inertia. Find, simple problem, find the moment of inertia as shown in figure. About O. So this is the O. Let us suppose this is 1 kg, which is at a distance of 1 meter, 2 kg at a distance of 2 meter, 3 kg at a distance of 3 meter from O. Yeah, find the moment of inertia about this. Simple. How to get moment of inertia? What is the moment of inertia? It is the product of mass of the body and square of the distance from axis of rotation. You feel that this is the axis of rotation here now, because all the three particles are rotating about this point O. Then we can write I about O, we can write it as m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square, m1 r1 square, so 1 into 1 square plus 2 into 2 square plus 3 into 3 square. This is 1 plus 8 plus 27. Okay, 28, and how much this is? 36 kg meter square. 36 kg meter square. Simple problem. Oh, it will take some time. Okay, let us try one more. See, up to now just moment of inertia, meaning, and parallel axis theorem, perpendicular axis theorems are covered. That's it. Nothing is covered today. Again I started very slowly. Okay, now see, calculated the moment of inertia here. Try to find one more. Take some time. See, find moment of inertia, find I about O as shown in figure. Find I O, let me write here only because of that problem. So, find I O as shown in figure. This is M particle, this is M particle, this one. They are asking this distance is L. Do it fast. Simple question. These two particles are rotating about this axis of rotation. What is this? Axis of rotation. Do it fast. This axis of rotation. So about this, what is this perpendicular distance? L by 2. What is this perpendicular distance? L by 2. L by 2. Okay? L by 2, L by 2. Then moment of inertia about O, about because of this particle M L by 2 whole square plus M L by 2 whole square. Then M L square by 4 plus M L square by 4, 2 M L square by 4, M L square by 2. Okay, M L square by 2. Again, I will give you one more question. Find moment of inertia about the center of mass as shown in figure. So this is good question. Find moment of inertia about center of mass. This is something 2m. Let us suppose this is 4m. The distance is L. Yeah, this is the question they given. Good question this is. Okay, basic question only. Find moment of inertia about the center of mass as shown in figure. Center of mass. See again the previous topic is used. Center of mass. See this is 2m and this is 4m. Tell me where is the center of mass of this one? I think you know how to find out the center of mass. XCM if you want to find from here. I think you remember opposite mass into distance by total mass. Got this? Remember this one? So, center of mass, this is the center of mass. At what distance? 2L by 3. If this is 2L by 3, what is the next one? Okay, if this is 2L by 3, next one is what? How much is this one? L by 3. Okay, don't think this is more or less than just 2L by 3, L by 3. Total if you add, how much you will get? 2L by 3 plus L by 3, how much? L, 3L by 3, L. So they are asking to find moment of inertia about this axis. About this. So how to get this? IO is equals to left side mass is at what distance? 2m into how much distance now? 2L by 3 whole square. Right side mass is how much distance? 4m into L by 3 whole square. Then 2m 4L square by 9. 4m L square by 9. Okay, this is 8 and 13. 13 ml square by 9 is the required answer for this. Okay, don't think moment of inertia means if it is the center of mass, don't think that left side particle is at L by 2 distance, right side particle is at L by 2 distance. It's not correct. If masses are same, correct. If masses are same, this is the center of mass. If masses are not same, what about the center of mass? Will it be at the midpoint? No, it will be, actually it is nearer to the heavier mass. Okay. So find distance of center of mass by using our previous formula. What is our previous formula? Did you remember the previous formula? M2D by M1 plus M2. Opposite mass into distance by total mass. Okay. So take this. Next we will see some formulas in next sessions, not now I think.